Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome back to News Dose, and fans are once again asking Xbox about their future plans. Some fans are a little bit concerned about their recent silence, and this is one thing that I have noticed about the Xbox community. They do seem to demand answers more so than fans of other consoles. Now, why that's the case, I'm not exactly sure, but it is something that I have noticed online, and oftentimes, these demands, they blow up online like we're seeing today. So stick around and I'm going to give you my perspective about what's currently happening, though I will say that I don't think the fans necessarily need to freak out just yet. There are some red flags, and we're going to talk about that, but hopefully that's all they are. First, though, I do want to thank my supporters on Patreon and on YouTube memberships. Thank you so much for what you do, and you will receive this video through early access. Let's go and get right into things, though, starting off with Yooka Replaylee. Not only did Playtonic confirm that it's now content complete, but they also confirmed that its release date will be announced sometime soon. Now, a couple events to maybe pay attention to is possibly Gamescom, and then also the upcoming Nintendo Indie World Showcase. Technically, even though Playtonic opened up their own publishing arm, they are still considered an independent studio. So that is a potential place that they could possibly show up at. And I mean, really, I'd say that this is kind of the perfect game to announce for the Nintendo Switch 2. If you remember right, they were one of the first developers to tease their game for the Switch 2. And just kind of given their past history on Nintendo consoles, it just makes sense to show up at a Nintendo showcase. Now, I'm not saying that they'll absolutely be there, but it would still be a pretty cool announcement. Personally, I am actually looking forward to this game. I really enjoyed the original, and the footage that they've already shown, it looks really good, and it fits more in line with what people were originally expecting from Yooka-Laylee. Now, speaking of the Nintendo Indie World Showcase, allegedly Hollow Knight Silksong will not be there. I mean, of course, with every Nintendo showcase, there's always those rampant rumors that Silksong will finally get its release date, and, you know, hey, I'm hoping that we will get an announcement. But no, according to Switchforce, from what he's heard, that's not in the cards for the Indie World Showcase. And I will point this out. I completely understand that Silksong will probably sell the best on either Steam or on Nintendo consoles. But at the same time, Xbox does have a partnership for this game. Silksong is a day one Game Pass title, so I feel like there's maybe even a better chance that Xbox will be the ones to make the official announcement for its release date if any of the console makers do. Maybe even at Gamescom, considering Xbox will be there with, in fact, Silksong running on the Xbox ROG Ally. I could definitely see it showing up at Gamescom with that big Xbox Game Pass banner. Now, I'm not saying that it will absolutely happen there, but what I am trying to say here is that Xbox will probably want to make it loud and clear that it's, you know, a part of Game Pass when it does eventually get that announcement. So that is something to maybe consider when we hear this exact same rumor at every single Nintendo showcase. If anything else, don't be disappointed when it doesn't show up later this week. Now, one thing about Xbox, though, is that they've been a bit more silent than they typically are. Now, maybe that's because Microsoft Gaming and the Xbox team aren't always on the same page. A lot of things that Phil Spencer said before the Activision Blizzard buyout has kind of blown up in his face. A lot of people even believe that he's a liar now. Though, for me, I still believe that a lot of the new decisions are coming from Microsoft's upper management rather than directly from the Xbox team. Either which way, though, I do feel like the Xbox team is communicating a bit less than they used to under Phil's leadership. And there are a few things that's currently going on. So we're going to start off with a smaller but very welcome update. Earlier in the year, the Xbox Gear Shop and the Xbox Design Lab store randomly went offline. Now, at the time, they said that it was temporary, but with the recent mass layoffs, that did draw some concern that maybe they won't come back after all, and that maybe they were a part of the casualties as well. However, thankfully, that's not the case. Xbox Design Labs is now fully back online and up and running, and the Xbox Gear Shop has been updated to say that it will return soon. So that's actually very welcome news, especially when it comes to Xbox Design Labs. I mean, everybody can have their own opinion about Xbox as a company and what they do with their games, but they legitimately make some of the best designed controllers, and the fact that you can customize your own with their wide array of options is just a really cool choice for fans to have. I've actually customized my own in the past. I have my channel theme controller right behind me on display as we speak. Now, unfortunately, Xbox is yet to break their silence for this next topic, and this is currently blowing up within the Xbox community. It was pointed out by Clobril that the official Forza Motorsport account on Twitter hasn't posted anything since July 10th, nor has there been any communication for further Forza Motorsports updates or support. Now, the reason that this is noteworthy is because Turn 10 was one of the studios that were reportedly impacted the most by their recent layoffs. There were reports that roughly 50% of the studio was actually let go. And since then, we've also heard a lot of rumors that they've essentially been turned into a support team for Forza Horizon. So this could actually lean into those rumors, and if that's true, that's a really big deal because, I mean, we're talking about one of Xbox's staple franchises from the very beginning. I mean, at the very least, since the Xbox 360 days, Halo, Gears, Fable, and Forza have been viewed as their four main pillars. So to gut one of their most historic studios and to more or less turn them into a support team, or at least, that's what's being claimed, I mean, that would be a massive shift for the Xbox brand. And it would also be a massive change for Xbox fans. Now, admittedly, Forza Horizon has kind of taken the mantle of being the more popular of the two, so I can see why it would be prioritized, but at the same time, Forza Motorsport is unique in the sense that it's a racing simulator, whereas Forza Horizon is more of an arcade racer. So you can't really replace Forza Motorsport with Horizon, nor can you replace Horizon with Motorsport. They're both unique experiences in their own ways, with their own unique fans as well. So right now, fans are, demanding answers. They want Xbox or Turn 10 to speak out and let them know if there is a future for the Forza Motorsport series. Now, we've yet to get that answer. Maybe Phil will talk about it in a future interview or something if he's asked about it. But I will give you my own perspective for the time being. There are a lot of red flags regarding this story. I mean, there's no doubt about that. But at the same time, Turn 10 as a studio still exists. So what that tells me is that Xbox isn't willing to let the series completely go. They do see its importance. Now, maybe currently they'll help out with Forza Horizon, which may include a new entry relatively soon. Maybe that's actually what they're helping out with. However, that doesn't necessarily mean that they won't work on Forza Motorsport anymore, whether that be now or in the future. Again, they kept the Turn 10 studio, and do kind of keep in mind that they've shifted the series to more of a live service approach. I mean, if they wanted to, they could absolutely support this current entry, not only for this generation, but also for the next Xbox, if they want to, with various different updates, including a future visual enhancement. So they don't really need a brand new entry anytime soon. However, with 50% of their staff being laid off, there is still that question of just how much the current entry will actually be supported, all while they help out with Forza Horizon. And that's where I think that at the very least, it would be nice to get a confirmation that the current entry will continue to get support and stay up online, and that the series does indeed have a future. Just kind of set its fans at ease. And I mean, there are a lot of Forza Motorsport fans on Xbox. It's just too important of a brand for Xbox fans to simply be silent about it for too long. I mean, all they really have to say is that, hey, it's still important to the company and that it will continue to get support, and that's it. Let me know how you all view this situation, though. Just given Forza's history and importance to the Xbox brand, what do you think about their recent silence and all of the rumors that currently surrounds their recent layoffs? Okay, now one last thing before we go. One of the biggest live service games that blew up on PlayStation years ago is ending its support for the PlayStation 4. This is for Genshin Impact, and you can see their official announcement here, which reads, "Dear Traveler, thank you for your support and love for Genshin Impact on PlayStation 4. Due to limitations related to hardware performance and platform application size, we'll be discontinuing support and updates for Genshin Impact on PS4 in future version. Genshin Impact on PlayStation 5 will continue to operate normally and is not affected by the removal and update discontinuation on PS4. Traveler will still be able to enjoy the latest content updates on PlayStation 5 and supported platforms." Now, this is both a celebrated and a highly controversial announcement all at the same time. A lot of people do claim that the PS4 version still runs fairly well. Let me know in the comments below if that's actually true. I have no idea myself. But obviously, anybody who still plays it on the PlayStation 4, they're disappointed that they're being left behind. Keep in mind that there was a report last year that 50% of PlayStation's monthly users were actually still on the PlayStation 4. Now, that's probably changed quite a bit since then, but, there's no way around it. There's still a lot of people that plays on the PlayStation 4, and that's because they have all of those yearly games that they want. Your yearly Call of Duty, Madden, or, in this case, Genshin Impact. At the same time, though, there's this other group that are currently celebrating or saying that this is good because it'll no longer be held back because of the PlayStation 4. So, it really just kind of depends on how you view this situation and whether you think it's time for companies to move on to the newest generation or if they should instead continue to cater to consoles that were released back in 2013. So I'm going to ask you all, give me your opinion about this in the comments below. Anyways, though, that's going to be it for this episode, but until next time, make sure to subscribe, ring that bell, and peace out.